Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 83rd Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of Wolves, a clan member, Galatia, who has bought the Pontus faction, an unusual faction to bring at the 31k game. You don't see many people bringing them, so it should be interesting to see how well Pontus does. My next teammate is Uther, Brotherhood member Uther, who has bought the Rome Brutii faction. Then we have Greeks clan member Cleomenes, who has bought the Macedon faction. And myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Rome SBQR faction. So there's our team there, a mixed clan team. Should be interesting to see how well we do, especially with two pike factions, and one of the pike factions not used that much on 31k. The other team is great too. Should be a great battle for you to watch. At this early stage of the battle, I thought you might like to look at the Pontus army that Wolves Galatia has bought. As I said, Pontus is not very often brought to the 31k battlefield, so it's nice to see underused faction used a bit. And as you can see, the Pontus faction has got long pikemen there. The pike's very long. They've got very effective chariots. If you look closely, you can see the spikes not only on the chariot wheels, but you can see that the horses themselves have got spikes on as well. These chariots are very powerful, but they can run amok. And any new players watching this may not know this, but if your chariots run amok, they kill both friend and foe alike, and can become a menace on the battlefield. So it's always kind of a bit of a risk bringing chariots. And here we have the chariot archers here. Another thing that the Pontus has got. These chariots are fast moving and can deliver some devastating arrow volleys into the enemy. There's a close-up of them there. As you can see, they've got two bowmen plus the person that controls the chariot, and they are a great part of the faction to bring. Should be interesting to see how well they do. And here is the other team. I've paused the game this time because I think there's going to be some action soon as this game starts. So I'll just introduce the other team to you. There we have Titans Hades, who has bought the Rome Julio faction. Then we have Heaven Mohammed, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. Then we have RTW player Castor, who has also bought the Rome Julio faction. And then we have RTW player Odin, who has bought the Julio faction as well. So there's the other team there. I'm sure you agree, packed with pretty good players, and I'm sure this will be a great battle to watch. As I say, I've paused the game because I don't want you to miss any of the action, and I think there's going to be some chariot archer action right from the beginning there. Let's see what happens. And there you can see that the Pontus chariot archers there are moving towards the enemy Julii infantry. What Galatia would like to do is, as the enemy infantry are running, he'd like to shoot them, the infantry units in the flanks, try and cause a lot of casualties as the infantry are actually moving. There's a close-up of the archers actually. As I say, I'm going to try and actually, if you like, ride with the archers here. Just try and keep up with them as they're actually moving along. Hope that adds a little bit more to the visual enjoyment of the battle. See, actually, even if they're running away from the enemy, their archers are still actually firing at the enemy. They're causing casualties. As I say, they're a useful unit to bring with Pontus, and you'd be surprised how many casualties you can cause with them. They're fast and they do a lot of damage. At this very, very early stage of the battle, I thought I'd just give you a panoramic view of what's actually happening and how the teams are squaring up against each other there. As you can see, we've got the Pontus army is actually kind of integrated with Uther's Brutii army there. And you can see the chariots, Pontus chariots, heavy chariots out at the rear there. He's just waiting to see the best place to use them. If you notice there, the chariot archers have actually reduced that infantry unit down to 62 men. So that's an urban cohort unit that's lost 20 men thanks to that those couple of chariot archer units there. and I dare say it'll be doing a lot more damage as well. At this stage of the battle, you can see that the enemy Julii infantry have moved forward, and they've got one unit in Testudo there. I just thought I'd show you a close-up of that enemy Testudo unit there, and how my infantry are actually battling that at the moment. As you can see, it's, the Testudo is like a complete enclosure of the infantry by their shields there, and actually is a formation that the Roman army did actually use. It's not kind of just made up for the game, and it is very useful in some situations on the battlefield to use that, as it gives so much protection to the infantry within that shield wall, if you like. If you notice, I'm moving over to the right to get closer to Cleomenes to try and protect his flanks a bit, because as most of you know, probably watching this, Pike's vulnerable places are their flanks and rear. So if ever you're an ally to a Pike army, always try and help guard their flanks. As you can see, the enemy Rome Julii army there has been quite aggressive in its attack. But if you notice, Cleomenes has thrown a few of his Pike units out there to try and take a little bit out of the sting out of the Julii attack. And if you notice, the Julii general has now put a couple of his units into Testudo in front of the Pike units. This is a standard type thing that most Roman generals do. If they're feeling they're being under attack by Pike units, they usually put their forward units into Testudo, as this kind of slows the Pike units down. As you can see, it's quite an aggressive engagement here on our left. Meanwhile, over on our right, there's a lot going on over there as well. If you notice, our Pontus ally is moving in to help our Brutii ally there. Is integrating his army in with our Rome ally. And as you can see, the Pontus chariots have attacked over here on the right flank. If you notice, as they charge in there, actually throw enemy infantry up into the air. If you notice that the enemy general is shooting fire arrows at the chariots, and this causes them to run amok. Can you see this chariot unit there? Can you see its banner is flashing red on and off? That means that chariot unit has run amok and can kill enemy and friend, and it doesn't really matter once it's run amok, and it can be a menace on the battlefield to both sides. As you can see here, Galatia now is attacking with his Pontus pikemen. Notice how he's taking the Roman army head on. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to let any of the Roman units get around his flank or his rear, because he knows that that's where he's vulnerable. His pike units are vulnerable, so he's just doing a flat-out attack straight onto the front of the Rome Julii enemy infantry there. Here you can see Uther doing a cavalry charge into those enemy Scipii infantry. Now, if you notice that the Scipii cavalry are now doing a counter charge, and this could be a pivotal part of the battlefield here in the centre, I think. Now, you notice that Cleomenes' is Macedon companion cavalry are charging in. My guess is that Uther will recharge. There you are. Uther pulled his cavalry out. He's now charging back in to get the full cavalry charge bonus. Bang! So there's a heck of a lot of heavy fighting going on in the centre there. If you notice, a lot of the enemy Scipii units are starting to rout now. There's so much aggressive fighting going on in the centre there. I think it'd be interesting to see who's going to come out best there. If you notice, Cleomenes has sent some of his pike units over there as well to assist in the centre. It looks pretty well like there's a lot of the enemy units are routing now in the centre. Meanwhile, over on our left flank, you can see that the Julii infantry has become extremely aggressive against my SPQR army there. If you notice, the Julii cavalry have pulled out to the left flank. My guess is they're going to attempt to charge straight in there. If you notice, I've got my cavalry ready for a counter charge to take the sting out of that cavalry attack. And if you noticed, bang, straight in there, both cavalries meet. I've stopped a lot of the units from charging into the infantry, which is what they wanted to do. I think 3 of them have managed to hit the infantry, but I had to turn my infantry ready to receive that cavalry attack there, if you'd notice. And if you notice, Cleomenes is bringing some of his pike units over as well to help there. If you notice, overall, Cleomenes has used his pikes all over the battlefield here to help his allies. He's really shown what teamwork is all about here on RTW. Remember, new players watching this, teamwork is the key to victory. Watching out for your teammates, looking for hot points on the battlefield where you can move. Right now, I've paused the game here for us to take stock of what's happened here. As you can see, I've got my SBQR cavalry around the rear of the enemy. There's still Julii infantry fighting here at the front, and you can see that Cleomenes has got some of his companion cavalry in behind the Julii infantry too that he's looking to charge in. Over on our right here, you can see that there's still a bit of a tussle over there. Still a lot of enemy Julii infantry and cavalry left, and archers there. So it'll be interesting to see how we do on our right. Yeah, it looks to me pretty well like we're doing okay on the left, but here on the right things could be a bit of touch and go there. So that's we've took stock of the situation at the moment. Let's see what happens next. As you can see, Cleomenes is companion cavalry charging in the back of the Julii infantry. Now, if you notice, I'm just charging my cavalry into the back of fighting enemy infantry. That should cause almost a mass rout as my cavalry hits. Bang! As you see them charge in there, you can see a lot of the enemy Julii infantry white flagging. They're routing. Any new players watching this, that's a great thing to do. If you can charge your cavalry into the back of engaged fighting enemy infantry, you'll probably cause a mass rout like you've just seen there. As you can see there, that was a good cavalry hit there, and the enemy have routed here on our left flank. So as you can see there, that was a classic hammer and anvil attack. As I charged my cavalry in, I ran my infantry forward in an attack as well. So the enemy Julii infantry were caught in a sandwich of my infantry attacking them aggressively and my cavalry charging in as well. So that was a kind of a classic hammer and anvil attack there. And it worked quite well. As I say, new players watching this, that is a great tactic to do if you can do that.
The gods be praised!
And veteran players watching this have done it so many times themselves, I bet they have a little smile on their face when they saw that. As you can see here, over on the right, the enemy Julii infantry is not doing too bad at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to rush our victorious armies over from the left over to our right now to help our allies out. As you can see, I've positioned my cavalry there, and what I'm doing is I'm running my infantry over, and what I'm going to do is I'm just looking all over that part of the battlefield to see where the best place to charge my cavalry would be. Obviously I'd like to hit enemy general if I could, because if I'm lucky enough to kill him, then obviously I'd lower the morale of his troops. So I'm just keeping an eye out for an enemy general there that I might hit with my cavalry. I think I can see two, and there you go. I'm going to go for that one enemy Julii general there, trying to hit him. But I think there was still quite a lot of men left in that unit, so my cavalry hit probably won't be lucky enough to kill him in this time. But my infantry are charging forward as well. What I'm going to try and do is charge through that Julii into the back of these engaged Julii infantry there, hopefully with a view to try and rout some of their fighting units there. But all the time, whenever you've got allies who are using pikes and when you're using cavalry, be very careful, because friendly pikes kill friendly cavalry. So you must be very careful how you use your cavalry around your allies that are using pikes, because if you try and charge through them or anything like that with their pikes down, you will lose loads of your own cavalry. So always be careful when your allies are using pike armies.
The enemy general is slain, and now his men fear us. It is time to press the attack.
And as you can see now, most of the enemy army appears to be routing at the moment.
The enemy general flees. Press forward so the spirit of his army is broken too.
As you can see here now that we're trying to just mop up the last few of the enemy forces here. And there we go. That seems to be the last of the enemy forces routed there. just like to say, really well played there to everybody in the game, and that was a great battle to be in. Now, if you noticed, if you look at the kill count, you'll see that I think it's Titans Hades has got the highest kill count in the game. Any new players watching this, but having the highest kill count doesn't necessarily mean that your team will win. If you notice that we've actually got a clear victory for this battle, and yet they had the highest person with the highest kills there. I'd like to say really well played to the other team. Lots of real aggression, some really great moves there, tactics and attacks, some really aggressive attacks, and really well played to my team too. It was nice to see how well Pontus was played there. The chariot attack, the chariot archers, and the way to use pikes attacking the Romans head on. Really well played to Cleomenes, who really showed some great teamwork and battlefield awareness, and really well done to Uther too. He played extremely well there at holding and attacking. And this was a great battle to be in, and I hope you all enjoyed watching it. This is Spartan Commander saying bye for now, and see you soon.